Hey, so there's this fighting game going around, right? This fighting game, them's Fighting Herds. It's pretty cool. I like it, and it's based on that old My Little Pony Fighting is Magic fighting game that was then subsequently cease and desisted by Hasbro. And this new game, which took a century, but it finally has presentable videos and stuff, and they've got their Indiegogo campaign going, and everything's good. And yes, okay, cool. This is a cool fighting game, but there are a few things that mildly bug me, and these are things that are not things that are obviously unfinished because the game is in super early alpha. They are things that may or may not make it all the way into the finished game due to oversights or because the dev team isn't as nitpicky as I am. With that being said, here are the top 5 things that I hope them's Fighting Herds does. At number 5, make that idle animation not stupid. Okay, this is a good start. This is a good stupid start for a stupid thing which I want to be in this game. Okay, so here's the thing. This idle animation is stupid, and you want to know why? It's because, okay, when you're in a fighting stance, you're sitting there, you're cool, you're like, I'm ready to punch someone. Well, these are quadrupeds, so it's slightly different. But that being said, this is stupid. It's like if you have a fighting game character who does this if they are not a quadruped and they are in, I don't know, Street Fighter or something. It looks dumb, and I don't like it, and it should be more casual. Like the other character here, Velvet. Yeah, that one's Arizona, and that one's Velvet. Arizona is the one with the stupid idle animation that I want to be not stupid. It's stupid looking. I'm sorry. Number 4. Make the screen shake before/on the KO screen on a killing move. Another stupid nitpicky thing, but that's the entire point. Pardon me. But that's the entire point of this list, isn't it? This is low on the list because this may or may not be an early alpha thing. This may be a thing which is just not done yet. But when the attack kills a character, it like shows, whoa, KO, and then the screen shakes because you got hit by the attack, and that's weird. And it's more gravity and more boosh if it's all the one thing. It's all boom. KO! You win or lose, depending on how the way the battle went, or, you know, or maybe it wasn't you or them because you're spectating, I don't know. Hey! Segues. Number 3, give the characters visual emotes in the visual lobby. This isn't really part of the fighting game itself, this is the visual lobby. The visual lobby is a really cool idea and I love it. And look at this, it's so cute. But it would be so much cooler if they had like animated like emotes. And I'm not talking about those exclamation points and the question marks that appear above them. I'm talking about like the little characters like animating. And again, this is another thing which maybe they are intending on doing that later. Or maybe they're just always going to be that static one sprite, which makes more sense. And chances are that is exactly what it's going to be. But it would be totally cool if they had these little cutesy animation emote thingy. Essentially, I want it to be like Legends of Equestria, even though that's 3D or whatever. Legends of Equestria is cool and it does it right, even though it does a lot of other things wrong. And number 2, make your super meter more obvious. This one sounds stupid, and it is stupid, but but essentially, okay, you look down. If you're playing a fighting game, you need to make sure you are aware of everything around you at all times, including where you are, where the opponent is, what your health is, and how much super bar you and your opponent both have. Now, here's the problem. If you only have 2 eyes, and those 2 eyes can only be looking in one direction, and so you can only pretty much mostly be looking at your character, and everything else is in your peripherals, and therefore you want to be able to know how much super or health you and the opponent has without looking. Yeah, like in your peripheries, you see like, oh, there's only a bit of meter in their health meter thing. Therefore, they're almost dead, or me, depending on which side your character is. Now, the health is fine. The health is fine, but I want to say the super, or more specifically the magic meter, not really. It's sort of like all clumped together and the number is useless. Now, I do like one thing though. I like how the meters are color-coded. That is very reminiscent of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is like my favorite fighting game ever. And it's a good example of, whoa, you can see everything in your peripherals without ever actually looking at it. Like, whoa, I've got 5 because the whole thing is red and the number is red. But in them's Fightin Herds, it's just sort of vague and you're not actually able... It's like, okay, yeah, look at the meter and yeah, that's cool. But the magic, it's like... I don't know. And even then, the meter itself is just sort of like, oh, there's a lot of clutter around it. It's like, it's important that you know what it is at all times, and that may or may not be happening because it's all clumped together like this. Does that make any sense? I hope it does, because I'm moving on. And the number one thing that I hope them's Fightin Herds does is make that grab animation not take a century. You might be asking, what the tit are you talking about? And that's a good question. A+. I'm going to answer that now. This grab animation is too long, and here's why. If you are, say, theoretically playing a fighting game, and you're playing against someone you're not good against, and they do a thing that you don't know how to counter, like such as, for example, very, very recurring theme in fighting games, grabs, which is a thing that expert fighting game players do all the time, but those people who are just sort of learning, they very rarely get into grabs, especially in Street Fighter-like games, like this one, which is very, very Street Fighter-esque. And let's say, theoretically, this person who is way better at you at the fighting game grabs you all the time. During the time you are being grabbed, this is salt time. This is time in which you can get salty and get mad at not being able to do anything because the animation is playing. And in an optimal world, you would want to be able to act and try and dodge everything all the time as soon as you can. And with the grab animation, again, like I said, one of the easiest things to fall victim of in a fighting game that you don't know how to play. If you keep getting grabbed over and over again and you have to wait that over and it just garners more salt time and you get more angry at the game. Let's take Splatoon as an example for salt time. Let's say, theoretically, you're playing Splatoon and you go over to where the enemy is and then you get killed. Uh-oh. Well, now, during the entire time it takes for you to respawn and then getting back into the action is salt time. And if you, right as you arrive, get killed again, then you have to wait even more until you get attacked again, and it's just like, okay, where the hell am I going with this? The whole point of why I'm going on about this is this grab animation is too long. It's slightly too long, and it bugs me. And oh my god, am I still talking about this? Let's go back to Street Fighter 4 as examples, because when I brought this up with a friend, he brought up a couple of rebuttals, namely, in Street Fighter 4 there are some grabs that take this long, and you would be right. But I'm not saying Street Fighter does it right. It's just like, this is too long. But more importantly, we should be thinking about, okay, so them's Fightin Herds is clearly a faster paced game than Street Fighter, especially, combo wise and like reaction and quick thinking and stuff. Street Fighter is a slower game. Them's Fightin Herds should not have a basic grab animation that is far longer than the average of most grab animations in Street Fighter 4. Like, dude, okay. My fix for making the them's Fightin Herds Arizona grab not take a century is to just have one bounce instead of have it lift, bounce, ground. Just have lift, bounce, ground. It's so much quicker, and it's not that much quicker, but to me it is noticeably more quicker, and I would be more accepting of if that grab animation didn't take as much of a century as it does now. So again, that was my extremo super mega nitpick of them's Fighting Herds alpha, based on the footage which I have seen so far, which I have no idea what's finished and what's not, so I don't know what's going to be changed and what's not. But yeah. Anyway, so this game is still getting crowdfunded on Indiegogo, and it's not fully, as of me recording this, it's not fully done yet, and I want to get people to totally reserve a copy, because I want that to finish, and I want people to play what looks like would be a pretty diddly dang cool game, especially if the little nitpicky things I complained about in this video were to turn out to be fixed when the actual game comes out. There's also totally a referral system, and if I can get people to buy copies through my link specifically, then I will get bonuses. Therefore, you should, if you're going to get the game, totally get it using the link in the description, because that's my referral link or something. Alright. This video's over now.